there, you make it TV followers, viewers, supporters, and listeners across the globe. Thank you for tuning in to another live discussion topic, insightful topic session we're going to have tonight here with a fresh, insightful topic. So we're happy to have you guys back with your new subscriber. Welcome. Here you will make it TV with your inspirational posts, divine messages, and insightful topics weekly. I don't mean for my intros to sound so stage and everything, but I do think it's nice to more have an introduction rather than just diving into topics all the time. But we will be sharing more information pertaining to gift basket sets and where you guys can place orders for them. In the meantime, the link will be shared in the comment section for those that are interested in signing up for Avon Brochure's monthly newsletters, okay? That just takes like 10 seconds of your time. They're just going to be sending promotions, ads, and stuff like that to your email. We all get them anyway. That's just a quick way you can support us. So, what's up, Boom? hmm But yeah, thank you guys for clicking the video and everything. Remember, you can always like and share our topics after we posted them right there in the community section. What do they call it? Like the post board or whatever. Uh, I couldn't even think of the name of it for a second. Thank you, baby. Thank you. I love you. Um, tonight, I feel like this would be an insightful topic. I really thought I would have talked about something else because there's just so much going on today. But uh, like this is a good one. Like how a lot of people seem to be divided, not just in one country either. Like just in a lot of places. I wouldn't say. Let me say it like this: for the most part, everybody has always believed charity and giving and help was always a beautiful thing. Like, but it was funny once like certain budget funding cuts begin to happen. Let's just talk about in America alone, because we know in other places when they have wars and stuff, it is costly for the people that are during those times too. So we're just gonna break down charity and how I'm bringing it to the table with my insightful topic today. Um, well, to me, charity and what people act like paying their taxes is charity. No, that's a law. This is just my opinion, though. This is just my opinion. Charity is always going to be a whole separate. You're talking about something totally different. Just like I told people, when you're talking about work, there's different forms and level of work. Volunteer work is still a thing, even though you probably don't. It probably is rare, but it still exists. Volunteer, you know, in the modern day, everything's more convenient. Everybody want to get paid for their time, and we understand that. But there are some volunteer experiences out there that have actually helped to launch people's brands, their life. It's called an internship or something similar, close to people end up having to volunteer their services for different reasons, right? I think what people mean, and even you will make it TV, we want to teach it that way, right? Want to encourage, inspire, and motivate because you just never know what somebody wants to. I'm not trying to be a forceful motivation or anything. Somebody said I'm a movement by myself, but I'm a force when we're together. We'll never force the inspirational motivation, but uh, yeah, let me. When you're volunteering your services, it's not always a bad thing. Your work, your services, your time. I mean, notice how the world is shifting though a little bit to where it is. It's like it is looked at as a bad thing. It depends on where you're volunteering. If you go to children's hospitals and volunteer, it's just a million places in the world you can go volunteer. Your time, your services, your energy, your thoughts, all of it. It's easy to sit behind the screens of the internet and say everything the world needs to change and what they need to do. But shout out to all of those that, because I didn't get to make it to any of the. I know lately people have been going out there protesting due to, and rest in peace to that young lady again. What happened to the lady in Minnesota? uh, people been by the ICE agent. She lost her life. She was gunned down in her car. I mean, I saw the clip. It's still more and more and more coming out about this story. But you will make it TV does give our condolences to their family, to the survivors. Um, it's just started. I mean, clearly she was loved and she's in love and memory because people have been marching, protesting, and standing up and speaking up about it. So, um, thank you for your support in the chat. We love it all, negative and positive. Okay. To continue into what we were saying, because some people come and tune into things later, right? Even they might not come and listen while I'm actually live. Everybody knows that. You can post it after you're done recording, and whoever still wants to click on it, that's how it should go. That's how YouTube usually works. So when you're an audio podcast or a radio talk host, sometimes it will feel like you're talking to yourself. I would say a person good at doing that deserves to be in a sector of work. Back to what we were saying about work, volunteer work is a whole thing. And some people get, when they volunteer their work, they might get a stipend or they might get gifts and donations that way as well, right? You just want to get people to work. It's not a hard thing. But even workforce organizations and stuff have been struggling lately because they're studying making more budget cuts to some of these specific type of programs, actually. But I will never regret the days, even if those days are fading away, that America of all countries, you know what I'm saying? If people just wanted to start their own charitable causes, go out and help people, uh, start organizations, nonprofits to help people, well, that's how it's always been. We're just getting more of a wake up call to where these things come from, right? Maybe people just didn't pay attention to it before. Charity is always separate from some topic you try to tell people about. What you should have to say so about because you're a taxpayer. You know, charity is where people go and donate from the bottom of their heart, last I checked. It's like people are trying to jump over there in that category of that's not just, oh, some government assistance. Let me tell people something. Assistance programs is not always governmental either. Now, most nonprofits do have to register with the government, just like most other businesses. But like, not everything everybody does is just straight up registered. As long as they're reporting their earnings to the proper, IRS tax people, they'll be okay. But where I see a little fault and damage is people try to jump over there in their sector of business. Like, oh, these are donated things. We want to see what can be done with this. Like, what kind of world is this? Everybody knows when something is donated, you would think you just disperse it freely or give it to the needy that need it. That's not something that people were. I mean, it kind of has to do with taxes because they get write-offs and stuff later after these big, huge donations and stuff. I mean, it's no new news. I'm just saying, look how it does matter. Don't go donate stuff just so you can sit back and see. I mean, yes, check on your donations, not just with me, with any business. But I don't ask for donations. I'm just saying for the sake of the topic. When I even did, we didn't call them donations. Like podcasts and radio stations, they start campaigns. You donate if you would like to. I mean, it's still called donating, but it's not just something we're going to do. And most charitable events, what I'm saying is they do make it look like they're trying to make it harder for these charities to receive funding in the first place. So we all know that's going on anyway, even with government assistance programs today. Uh, a lot of these programs are having cuts to the funding. Big time. Just in 2025 alone, a lot of programs that help people were either put on freeze or just had complete up to 50%, maybe some with some of these budget cuts, more than 50% of funding that these places were, like the Boys and Girls Club, for example. I'm sure the YMCA, These are just educational places, of course, that I just named. Job Corps, we did topics about these. Uh, and then, as we saw recently, it was even SNAP, right? Even if it was a freeze just for 1 month. So, once again, SNAP and government benefits, that's in a category of its own. Because, yes, we all know that funding kind of pretty much comes from the taxpayers, right? Or taxpayers help to contribute to make those benefits available to those that might receive those benefits. Just to clarify the understanding for people that don't know, everybody that get government benefit assistance is not jobless. That's just a stereotype that y'all have, or something that people thought that everybody that get Medicaid, cash assistance, or food stamps don't have a job. You didn't see when they cut SNAP off last summer when people were saying they had a job. But if you don't make over a certain amount, you still qualify for what they call government assistance. Now, truthfully spoken here, the saying that's where it seems to be like, how is there division in charity, right? In a land where I guess charity was respected and honored, the little bit we did have to hang on to, because a lot of these poorer or less fortunate countries actually do not get, they don't have a lot of charity, and the ones that's around, they probably get used very fast, the resources and stuff out there, because people just know some cities, communities, foreign countries are not as privileged as the ones that might offer so much assistance and residency and um, help for people who might need it. Yeah, okay, so I'll be right back. I'm doing the pause break, but I'll be right back. Anyways, how can there will never be clarity when there's division in charity. That's the title of this topic that I drafted on tonight. Feel free to tune in to previously recorded segments just like these on a variety, I said variety or plethora, however you want to look at it, different other topics, okay? And feel free to like and share to show your support. But how can there be, uh, if there's division in clarity, or there's just division in charity, don't even go in the same word in the same sentence to me. What they try to do is bring up where people contribute as far as the taxpayer dollars with charitable businesses and organizations, and I don't think they should do that because that is two different things. Anybody that goes somewhere and gives something from the goodness of their heart, that what last I checked, that's what charity is. You didn't have to ask for it. It's called giving because it's charity. Giving because it's called charity. Nobody usually asks. I mean, some people ask for sponsors, ask for donors. We all know this. But a lot of these, like foster homes, for example, children hospitals, places that have known to receive charity, they can tell you they don't always ask donors to do that unless it's on their website and the donor wants to. They don't force anybody. Nobody ever force anybody to give charity. That's my point. Charity, y'all better go back and Google the word charity. You don't get to throw charity in the same sentence as taxpayers and what taxpayers do. I mean, yeah, some taxpayers donate. Some taxpayers give charity, and nobody even asks them. They go in secret and give secret donations to the pet shelter, for example. It's something as little as like how Valentine's Day is coming up. You can make Valentine's Day cards and send them to the prisons. That's a place that people feel unloved, and that has nothing to do with money. You just draw a million heart letters and tell them tell all the inmates you love them. Do people think like this? But then if we're talking on a level of charity, we don't expect everybody to. But if you're going to jump in and say, well, taxpayers aren't responsible for people's kids, well, that's fine if you feel that way. But charity has been for longer than people probably might not like to hear. And it always has been a person giving when they're not asked. Help is when you ask for it, or sometimes help is unexpected. But charity, for sure, is you giving because you want to. What do people think? That's why volunteer work is kind of considered charity, depending on the kind of work that you do. Period. Now, we ain't even talked about the organizations and the people that try to get charity yet. Just know they before these budget cuts and stuff were happening, they weren't really getting funding or getting business unless people were giving and contributing and donating because that's how nonprofits pretty much work. Nonprofits or small, advocacy programs, it is time. It shouldn't have took so much for people to see. Like when they cut off SNAP last time, they said these food banks were prepared for long lines around the corner. Some of them, I think I read, they were like that. I mean, if it make anybody feel better, I was gonna be headed up there too. Like this is real topic. This is real unfolding things happening around our communities today. And uh, it's great if people want to put their comments. Well, taxpayers aren't responsible for other people's kids. I just think it's just a lazy opinion, because yeah, you could be a taxpayer, don't have kids, have your own kids, and still kids in an orphanage every day, a foster camp, a hospital. They have nothing to do with you. You're right, but it doesn't mean they don't exist. And thank God for charity organizations and different stuff because everybody don't just have a neighbor they can turn to and say, I need $50,000 for a heart transplant, do they? But they do have foundations. They help to get children on wish lists and medical lists so they can get the kind of treatment and care that they need. Because let's remember, guys, and that's talking about Medicare for a second. Medicare, Medicaid, that is very, very important for children. Why am I bringing this up? Well, people say taxpayers shouldn't be responsible for people's kids. I just think it's a rude comment. Um, Bottom line, what if you get no other message out of what I was trying to teach on this discussion topic tonight? Remember this: charity is a sector, a group, a category of its own. Charity is something you give because you want to. That's what charity is. Charity and mercy kind of go hand in hand because what would make a person just freely give? People have been trying to figure that out since the beginning of time, I'm sure. And how is there ever a such thing as too much charity? Like what? Too much charity for one person? Because there's different levels and forms of charity. I can see if a person had a long rap sheet of just back to back to back to back charity all day. Like I wouldn't be mad at them, but I mean, it wouldn't be something that I want to look into. If you've been surviving, you've been surviving. At least you're robbing people, robbing banks, tearing up stuff to survive. If there's charities out there that were helping you, that's your business. This is just, I'm saying how I look at life, kind of talking third party uh, tone of voice, but uh, that's how I would look at it. I wouldn't care. And it is like suddenly uh, we're extra policing charity. Are you extra policing? Because I can understand extra policing charities. Uh, why would you have to extra police the charity people? It's crazy. I mean, these are not the places all I was trying to say to me. Like certain places people went to for a long time ago. Certain places were just always considered safe, wholesome, warm. Families can come in, get help, and that's just what it is, charity. those charities, though, do not have business themselves to help people if other people are not giving charity. That's my point. Some of these, I don't know, because you don't have to be wealthy to like be a charitable person. There are some people that just like to go volunteer at dog shelters, animal shelters, hospitals. They just because that is still redeemable, might I add, for those that anybody that might come across this, you will make a TV stream. Uh, Volunteer work is also resume transferable. You can add those type of experience. I'm sorry, I said experiences to your resume. Yes, you can. Even you notice jobs don't ask, well, how much did you make at the last place? It's very rare that they're gonna ask you that. They care more about what were your previous experiences. They do not care. Well, how much were you making? I mean, they might ask though. I've had a few employers like, what was your last salary? But it really doesn't matter, does it? Hopefully, it was this whatever interview I'm in is more than the last salary. But it is a question sometimes that can pop up on job applications, right? Like most systems work, and our system has worked for a very long time. That's all I'm trying to say to people. I'm not saying I bleed red, white, and blue, but I'm saying our system has worked for how long? With not that many problems, not that many glitches, and people needed to go get help around and different stuff. They could. All they did to me is add social media and internet in the equation. Because now, yes, now that though you still have housing, people still have Wi-Fi, they still have phones. I mean, what kind of communities are they staying in? But yeah, maybe they should. I mean, it's just an idea. Uh, I know they have housing projects and housing communities and stuff like this already, but maybe they need to just do something totally different. Like, I don't know. But that doesn't work either. You try to classify everybody. Well, put the income over here, put the high. They've already tried that. The high income over here on this side, that's not working. Some of these people is flip flop. The ones that's supposed to be over there is actually in the hood. All kinds of stuff going on. And it's like, okay, well, it's not just low income areas that you're gonna find. People just have to think outside the box that you're gonna find charitable organizations and causes. Those are all over the world these days. I'm just saying, what have they been going through? They never, even through the pandemic, actually, when there's natural cause disasters and stuff, they are actually more busy. That's exactly when they get more business. Food banks and food communities and shelters and assistance programs and housing and SNAP. When emergencies is going on, that's exactly when those people who receive patients actually be busier, bro, because they have a lot of people that come to them for help. When it's like something that affected a mass people, like, oh, so what have it's fair for the people to ask, what have these profitable organizations been going through? Is in people's only response. I'm not gonna say you got a large amount of citizens right now that believe, well, we're all taxpayers. Everybody should just go to work. So you think the workforce opened up 7.5 million jobs overnight? Plus, people were already being laid off during the last time that they shut down, put a freeze on EBT. Now, for those that were confused, if it happens again, that's what it's called, a freeze. And it's not a personal thing. When they freeze everybody's stuff, like they just showed everybody, everybody's just frozen. They're not going to be able to use the card. I think it was something like that, but people were mad. They needed their benefits the next month. Now put more work in the people that's been out here helping people with food. Job, seriously. Even though everybody food stamps on, there's still people that go to those food community banks. They might not get them. That don't mean that. But I'm saying, doesn't it look like it's a miracle, a blessing to have places like that? And shout out to all donors and sponsors of the world who I don't want to say secretly because it's not really secret when you put it on a website or something, but those out there that do that. I forgot that one program. They feed people all around the world. Like it's been at that level a long time ago. Like I think it's called World Food Hunger Bank or something. But yeah, lots of national grocers and retailers, they do give back, guys. And I'm not here to try to sound like the kissy bud or the one to know it all. But they do deserve to me, their accolade. They donate to children's shelters. A lot of people don't know those exist. It's not just foster homes and foster care and everybody get a home. No, they have centers. Okay, they might need gym, field trip money, because why should they have to live a boring life just because they're, or if anything, they're trying to give them a brighter life. So it is people who donate to those causes. With the internet and the way it is today, people can openly express their opinions. That's what we do. It's called the comment section. Things go viral, and it gives us all the opportunity to say whatever, where you don't have to look at it at all. It's called content, but you see it on the internet. Uh, Me personally, I choose to pray for the parents of the world today during these times because you can already see it. Like, uh, we all know your kids are all kids one time. Let's talk about that first. Don't try to make a person like, oh, it's over for me in 2026. And it's millions of kids in the world. They're just like the past generation, repopulating the future. They will one day. They're only 18. Get them first 18 years one time. Have anybody thought about that? Like, after that, they figure out how to eat. That's usually how it goes. By that age, you way old enough to at least make enough to feed yourself, even if you're still staying at home with your parents. Come on, man. But I feel like as parents, you don't want to push them too much where they feel like, well, I gotta go do. Because I watched this one movie. His little brother he didn't care if it was robbing, stealing. His little brother better had came home with money every day. Some people live in those toxic situations. They are in those type of toxic situations. A kid shouldn't have to worry. The young man wasn't even 18 yet. It was just a movie though. I forgot what the name. It was some show or movie on Netflix. But every day he came home, his big grown brother would not open the door unless he had money. You cannot be trying to push them that fast. You can, but do it the positive way, especially if you're in a community or hood or area where uh, it might be limited opportunities or it's easy to get caught up in. Because we know influence be right there for anybody. I don't care how much you change up your social groups and stuff. Trouble is waiting for anybody, right? It's just how it is. You don't gotta go looking for it. I don't care what communities you want to. Like just it's crazy. Trouble can find anybody. It's just already always waiting there. I've never heard the quote or middle name struggle, but no, I feel like you cannot get them ready. You can prepare them for, yes, taking care of themselves, feeding themselves, because look what society already is today, right? These are the babies that's coming up in the future right now. We're not just thinking about ourselves. Why would anybody want to stay in a repeated cycle of a program anyway? If it should be benefiting you somewhere, somehow, that doesn't mean all these programs be for everybody. I think a lot of people learn that on their own because with just like with any other program you complete, school, educational, work, any other kind of program you complete usually has requirements. Okay, so that's just a lot about what's changing too. With a lot of these programs going into 2026, they just will have stricter requirements, guys. Do not fall for the clickbait. They have cut a lot of funding to some programs though, which then is a cause chain effect because now programs don't have the food budgets or certain things that were helping to keep their charitable causes going. Yes, as we see, and people need to pay attention. The government was a big part. I mean, they contributed a lot of funding to a lot of supplemental programs, educational programs, housing programs. I mean, but like I said, people have to take accountability too. All of these programs have always come with requirements, stipulations. You know, have like it's a program, bro. Like any other program you sign up for, food program, housing program, transportation program. Most times that's going to come with some type of agreement that you're signing. So if they're going to be, distributing the funding, uh, people know what they got to do right, man. That's just what it comes down to. So, anyways, I just wanted to come get my opinion about that because Uh, actually, if I had any vision or dream, you would like to see that remain appropriate, no matter what you have to do. You gotta replace the people, whatever you gotta do. But why should funding ever stop going to places like city libraries, city parks, the actual healthier things that help keep communities safe and everybody have what they need? SNAP, Medicaid, uh, public funding to stuff like that, like the obvious, bro. But like I said, if people really get a little deeper into it and read more news stories about it, they'll find out that it's really not just funding being cut to a lot of these sponsors and things. It's actually just stricter requirements, which is going to have a lot of people fall off these programs on their own. With that being said, it's like saying in so many words, yes, it's going to be harder. They're saying it in a nice way. And that's really crazy because if you really think about it, it's the truth. Like, they were like, hey, we're going to strengthen requirements for SNAP. No, for example, no more purchasing snacks, sugary items on SNAP. You see, they had said it before they did it, though. Like, um, we are going to strengthen the requirements on certain benefits. Others were just showing clickbait saying that they're cutting them off, which one time they did, which that's called a freeze. They did it to your state, everybody in your state's uh, benefits are inactive. That's just how it works. So it's called a freeze. And then when they unfreeze it, you have that funding back and everybody has their benefits as regular. So they practically said, we're going to make things harder. In the bill, I think it's the big beautiful bill. These most recent changes that we've seen uh, have come from. So they basically saying, hey, we're making things more stricter, more these requirements. You're gonna have to submit more documentation or submit more proof of that. But they kind of said it in their own words out of their own mouth. That's practically saying, yeah, we're gonna make this harder. We're gonna make this harder with housing. Anywhere y'all was getting food for free. Anywhere there's a lot of food banks that you don't even have to have an ID. You don't have to have anything. If you need food, you can just come there and get a box of food. It's gonna have dairy products, fruit and vegetables. So I do agree with the EBT distributors on that because when you go to a food bank, they're not giving you sugary snacks in the whole box, right? So I do agree with that. Maybe if that really goes into effect, which I believe starting this month already has in some states. You can now buy sugary snacks with the EBT. They not playing about that. So, but I'm just telling people when you go to those community food banks or places that might help you with food, it's not gonna have sugar and food in there anyway. It's gonna have like more things you can cook, pasta, fruits, veg. They try to do like the food pyramid, healthy. Get your protein there, maybe some egg, cereal, milk, healthy stuff. It's not gonna have sugary things in the food box because you're not ordering it. It's once again that magic word we're talking about on this segment: charity, donated food. Sometimes it's from retailers, like I said, grocers, uh, uh, like Walmart, Albertsons, Kroger. You know, they donate cakes, breads, deli, all the time to food banks. So the next time you go to one of those stores and visit, or do a delivery order, and they say, "Do you want to donate $1 to hunger food causes or kid donation drives?" Just drop $1 in them because they really do be giving to those places, or else they would have been shut down a long time ago. Because I don't know how y'all thought nonprofit organizations, shelters, places like that, how y'all thought they got the money to do that? People donate there, which is called charity. If most of your funding to run your business comes from charity, uh, most times it still has to be registered with your state. You have to pay some kind of taxes. That's fine if it's charity, but you are supposed to be reporting the earnings. That's just how it's always worked with nonprofit organizations. Like, it does not mean you do not have to pay taxes. It's never meant that for them. Or report earnings when that time of the year comes, even if it's a profitable cause, like a non-profitable cause. Anybody can anybody can look like, oh, I'm trying to start something to help people. What is it? Giving out sneakers? I done seen people help people do all kinds of stuff. Like they didn't even have a nonprofit. But how TikTok and social media is now, you can like record yourself doing that kind of stuff, kind of like going and just giving to the homeless. And this one girl, she just had like a truck and with brand new sneakers. I think they were Nikes. They were something nice, probably Jordans. And she had them in all different sizes. And she just went to a lower income community and passed them out to the kids. And she showed it and it got 500K plus views. So people do like still support charity and people giving and donating because they want to. When it's that, when help is coming from that type of way, I wouldn't put so much pressure on the people giving. I just never understood that. Like, how can you come in and like, don't help this person, but it's a whole charitable cause. You know what I'm saying? That's just different. That's not just what taxpayers pay for. You can be poor and go give $10 to the Hungry Children's Foundation. Be poor and do that. They'll take 1 cent. If you send it on PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, uh, that foundation has an online site these days where you just go make an account and you become a monthly donor, even if it's $1 a month. It helps to feed the hungry children. This has been this way. They do have one for animals as well. You can help with different causes with animals, energy and environment, like recycling and things like that in your communities. If you don't really use social media like that, the good thing about today, you can still Google information about things like that in your community so you can become a charity cause donor yourself. You don't have to have your own children. I never understood when people be like, the taxpayers, those are not our kids. And people should take care of their own kids, so they should be kicked off food stamps. Like, charity doesn't exist, first of all. Those kids will only be 18 just like the people that are the older adults today were. Y'all know when you turn 18 and after that, food is pretty much your responsibility. How much you eat, where you eat. Because if you want to eat at a five-star hotel, I mean a five-star restaurant every night, why not? People just say they choose not. It's even superstars not doing it right now. Food is expensive. I bet if you ask some superstars right now, they is not eating five-star hotels every night like they used to. More of them are, if you take a look around, more of them are cooking at home. They doing cooking channels and shows now too. Okay. TikTok, these platforms, streaming platforms make it possible to actually make money just cooking. Something you should be doing anyway. I bet some of these five-star cuisine restaurants actually have been losing money. I never thought about that. I was actually watching, because y'all might not know, but Gucci, for example, I think it's Gucci or Louis Vuitton. One of them got a restaurant, and I like to watch like vlog channel, travel channels and stuff like that too. Just watch people who travel, go try new foods and all of that. And for one, I think one little strawberry cake, it was like $500 for one piece. They had cake pops. One cake pop was like $200 or a drink of Gucci wine. Whatever restaurant it was either Gucci or Louis Vuitton. Everything in there. You wasn't leaving that restaurant. Spending at least it was just crazy. Like, wow, people go. I mean, we understand why he do it. He can afford it, making millions of views because people like to see foodie reviews from across the globe. It is what it is. These always go trending and viral. This man, he goes to Thailand everywhere. Like he went and visited. I think Tesla has a restaurant. He be visiting all of them. The food just be crazy hot. Like who's going to these type of places every day? Even when I'm rich, like, or if I ever get wealthy, like people just be like, yeah, I can eat at five-star restaurants now. Your money gonna be gone too. You can make that same burger at home on the grill, on the George Foreman. You can make the same breakfast you eat at home, or those top-notch five-star breakfast places. You really can. Even hiring a chef might be cheaper than some of these five-star restaurants. About the food topic because it really is people that eat at places like that every day, and but they shut off put freezes on food stamps and stuff like that. But you're eating salmon and steak and duck eggs and octopus in another country. It, I'm just a humanitarian, a part of the group that still believes that type of stuff. I don't know. We all hope it will change, right? Because some of us think it's not fair for one person to have too much money, but it always happens. You know, that's how they have made and set up capital and how all this works out here. That's why I believe in charity so much. And I found out Jesus believed in charity too. It's like miracles, like making something out of nothing, giving what somebody needs. Like people didn't have to have money for Jesus to help them, but other people they might do certain things. They might not want to talk about it, but Jesus just didn't charge people to help them. Everything else, like we just said in the beginning of the stream, most people do not prefer volunteer work. Charity, it's rare, but it is still out there. It's actually more common in modern day. There's help for all kind of things. It's like why cut funding to certain uh programs and stuff? Because I saw an update today, guys. They ended the temporary citizenship applications. Y'all can look into that in your own time. But supposedly they banned all the citizenship applications, the temporary ones. And I'm like, wow, I think that was an update as of like 24 hours ago. But do know these all these changes at the same time, America's definitely having some kind of shake up, shut down, something right now. But it doesn't mean that others from here we're not experiencing our own changes, you know. I say continue to let people donate and give to not only give to those places, but give to the places that they want to. And yes, that's encouraged too that people follow up sometimes. If you know that you're a charitable donor, uh, follow up. Make sure, like, hey, did y'all get to use that $50,000 to make a new basketball court or build a new playground? Or, uh, hey, I'm just following up. And then you tell them on the phone, yeah, we just remodeled 6 months ago. Thank you for the funding, something like that. Like, yeah, we were able to bless 12,000 kids with Christmas toys. That's the kind of responses you're supposed to have out of. That's the point of people donating to charitable causes. That's why people don't like to when you ask them how they want to give a dollar for the homeless children. A lot of people be saying no, because how do they know where it's going? Yeah, the commercials. Well, for those of y'all that still watch TV, because Netflix and all these other streaming apps, they just have ads. It's not really like TV where it would be commercials. I guess you could still say those are ads, and they still show those ads where you can donate to different charitable causes. I'm just saying, I'll give accolades where they're due. There are some people that still, even if it's $1, they're not going to tell you, "Oh, we're not going to take it." If you come in a place to donate to the Hungry Foundation, they pass out food to people, and it's only $1. And they're gonna write you a slip that just proves that you gave that dollar. That's how it works. Now, if you keep those slips, you can report that to uh, when you report your taxes and you get a tax write-off. It's not our business if people do it for that reason. That's just a part of what they get for choosing to be charity. See, America believes in charity. What we're seeing is not all Americans do. Okay, because charities still have to register their business sometimes with the IRS, just like regular businesses. Even though their business is different, they accept charity and donations and stuff like that. But period, like if somebody comes drop something off and like, hey, just make sure 40 kids get these coats, that's what I would do. Make sure it goes, donate it. I don't tell them right there, no, this not the right place. I can't do nothing with them. You feel me? Because you should do the right thing with charity. It's just my belief. You should do the right thing with charity because that's different type of that. That's people donating because they want to. How do you get to step in and say, no, well, they shouldn't be. Let's point out what they do when we give them the help that people donated. Like, come on, bro. They donated out of volunteer. They don't care anymore, really. It's called giving it away, trying to help your organization, nonprofit, whatever it is. The grants you can receive for starting found youth programs and just as foster carers and centers like that. There are grants that they've always received, and hopefully they don't start cutting that type of stuff off. help, like feed the kids and clothe them and help them get through school because they might not have actual guardians, but they're through the system. I mean, people, like, it's just probably not an everyday conversation, but we talk about stuff like that over here in Make It TV because they're real topics, they're relatable topics, they're also for educational purposes. For people, you never know what other people going through. But our channel is called You Will Make It TV. Yes, we've all probably felt that burden together one way or another, where it's just like more things are being squirrels or cuts and stuff happening to the funding. And then you have less and less programs to help people. You have to expect crime to rattle up a little bit after that because people still have to eat and get things done. But I was saying, in my opinion, if somebody donates something and give it, that's like me watching you. I give you a gift, right? I give you a gift. It's a water, but I just want to watch you every day. And every day you don't play with the water gun. It's weird. Like, no, you shouldn't be worried anymore. When it's charitable, that's a different type of help because other people gave it. Other people donated. Sometimes you don't always know their name. You just go to the food bank and they give you a box of food. You're not asking them people, well, what are the names of the people that dropped y'all off this food this morning? I'm that type of person, but it's been a while. And that's when I found out. It be places like Walmart, Kroger, places you might not even shop at every day. Target, they instead of throwing some of the stuff in a dumpster, they actually donate it to food banks. Then they have regular people, just like teachers and people who might have extra to uh, donate to their communities. They actually drop off food at the food banks too. They go buy the stuff and then they take it there. So we understand that people do not come in as or like if they come to a workforce, they don't come in a. They usually come in there to get help finding a job. It's called the workforce. This also was a grant funded program. A lot of people might not be aware. If it's a government program, it has a government grant somewhere, like helping them to pay for to keep the lights on in the place, to help the people get jobs, to help them with gas, to help them with cash assistance, whatever they need. And so there's places that help for you guys that didn't know. They help those kind of places stay open. You come in there looking for a job, you don't come in there saying, "Who all gave y'all money this year to keep this place open?" Now, regular businesses, you wouldn't ask them that. The money that people spend in the store to buy stuff is what keeps them open. But nonprofits, places that people donate to and volunteer at, because sometimes they get paid on it, sometimes they don't with nonprofit organizations. That's the thing. You might get funding to help keep lights and stuff like that on, but it's really more of the resources. Uh, Hmm, that would matter. Every time resources come into the picture, with it, somebody is having to pay for something. So uh, that's why they've been saying the homeless numbers is going up and having to send the military out there to regulate the homeless, which I know they really didn't have to do that, but they probably did. Because if more people are being evicted, then what do you have? You're cutting funding to daycare programs, housing programs, shelter. The workforces, I believe that should stay funded because, yeah, if you can create jobs as quick as you're kicking people off of home assistance, that's going to show for itself. Or teach people to create their own job opportunities. Teach them the proper way to do it so they know it, right? And that's why you need places like the workforce, the Boys and Girls Club, they have job readiness programs for the youth to stay open. It's never too late to keep talking about this. But all this did start in 2025. During the pandemic, you've seen a lot of money go out to help people. So people got to understand that too. And they'll tell you how much money they had to spend in the country alone just on vaccines, just on COVID-19 vaccines. Then people was buying masks and gloves and hand sanitizer. They had to give extra food stamps. So right now, though, what we're seeing for sure is they're cutting stuff off left and right, or making stricter requirements with some programs, which what we said means pretty much making it harder, right? Make it to where, okay, if we heighten things like this, people just walk away from the program because they won't qualify if they're not abiding by those stricter requirements. That's all they need. Some people are end up following out the programs themselves and have to cut it out. You know what stricter requirements mean? In some states you have to take a drug test just to stay at a shelter. You know, if you they do a breathalyzer test every night that the people come in there. Some places bag checks. The requirements mean stricter requirements. Like, and if you do not, uh, what they saying how it's going to be. If you do not do that with food stamps, housing, all of that stuff, then you will be kicked out. But the goal in the first place of getting that help is to help yourself to where you don't need it anymore. They act like they know this. They tell us this. They tell us we should be getting off the sun. And then boom, you have situations happening. Next thing you know, you need assistance for something else, right? And they wonder why people call this a matrix. Some people, yeah. Every day more and more is changing. People are shocked about that ban on temporary citizenship for Somalians, but they had already said earlier last year in the big beautiful bill that there were going to be changes to passport requirements for all travel, American citizens. Well, for sure for immigrants and what they call those other people, they like tourists. Tourists. That's the word I was looking for. I don't know, but they have to get some kind of special passport clearance now, and it is going to cost money. It's crazy. People need to go read it for themselves. They had released news about that like last summer, bro. Like it is actually happening now. So others were just advising now is not a good time to travel, but some people do that for work, other reasons. I agree with so much unrest and different things going on. Uh, you know, because you can go to another country, they have a ban on their flight travel, and now you're stuck over it. The way laws have been changing rapidly lately, so we do have to look at it as a collective. Uh, but yeah, I just don't think that's right. If people donate something, you know, who, it goes into the power of who they donated to. Now, their job is just to pretty much, because if people knew that you're not distributing things like that's why they're donating. You say you're giving it to the hungry children, that's where they expect you, what they donated to go. Not in your pockets, but how long has this been going on? Y'all know it's been going on. People always extra pocket tax everything today. Really, you already got the businesses and foundations and corporations doing it. You got the rich people who have to pay a lot of people every day to live their livelihood. Uh, they probably have a lot to keep up with because you gotta always make sure nobody's stealing from you. Like life not just easier because you get rich. Period. Is that the great lesson that we all need to learn? Because that shouldn't be everybody's goal anyway. You should want to be happy, content, because there's no amount of money. You can just add money to your life, which is better, but you should want to be happy, the first goal. Like, because now when the money gone, you're not happy no more. You don't want to be that type of person. Just take our advice and you will make it to you. Don't invest. The Bible say, "As a man thinketh, so is he." It also say, "Where your heart lies, your treasure does also." So that's gonna be your ultimate gift. What you focused on, what meant the most to you in life. You know, uh, God doesn't choose that for us. He gives us self free will. But charity, God definitely believed in. He's the first at it. Like, I'm just gonna create. I'm just gonna give. I'm just gonna show love. That was God first. So I know for sure he believes in charity and people donating and giving and thinking about others when they don't have to. And we don't just mean during the Christmas season. I know Christmas just passed. Happy New Year to everybody again from you will make it TV. Today's date, March January 14, 2026. It is 3 a.m. Mountain Time at our neck of the woods. You're able to contribute or donate to any cause. But my question is, if you can question one charitable cause, you might as well go through the board and question all of them. If you can question one business, you got to be willing to go across the board and look at all the businesses. And then it just goes on and on. If you can go down and look at one person, you can look at everybody. But with non-profitable causes, yeah, if you can look at one of them, you can look at others. Why not? People come to these places for assistance, for help. There's ones, for example, guys, that just help like with newborns. If you come there with dogs, pet, grandma, auntie, they can't help you. All they do is donate to newborns. But if you need help, then come up there or call them, email them. They can help you. You know why? Because the stuff that's in there, when they put their stuff on their website, people donated that. It's called charity, right? I think if y'all got y'all pen and paper, you took plenty of notes on this segment today. I donated. Some places only help with babies, like baby milk. You can't tell me they don't exist. I'm saying it with my own eyes. They only help with baby stuff, baby wipes, baby diapers, baby formula, baby food. I'm not kidding. Baby toys, baby clothes. I can go on and on. Baby cribs. This one place I went to, like brand new baby crib, baby car seat, baby stroller. If you had another aged person with you, that's the only thing, what reason they can't help you. They didn't care what your race was. You got a baby? Oh, you get to come in. Let's set you an appointment. That's not Target. That's not Walmart. That's not where the average person would go. But guess what? They exist. And it's called a charitable cause. And they're just specifically for babies and toddlers and infants. And that's what they do. From baby furniture to baby food to baby needs to even resources like, oh, you need a doctor for your baby? Oh, you need this for your baby? They have all that there, but it's only for babies. And guess what? They have places like that in every state. It just depends on where you are. Once again, 211 is usually available. You dial those three numbers on your phone, hit the green call button, and the operator in your local community is going to answer. You don't have to do nothing extra. Just call 211. Your phone already knows who the, it's an operator number. They're going to say, what do you need help with? It can be food, a doctor. They're going to tell you if you're in an emergency, call 911. So if you're in an emergency, do not call 211. Call 911. Okay, everybody, don't make it like you will make it till you said it backwards. 2110 for other emergency needs, uh, food, Medicare, Medicaid, insurance, you're new to a new town, your lights are on, stuff like that. There are emergencies. That's not something you call 911 for, unfortunately, guys. They have not made it like that. You cannot call 911 because you don't have your light bill money. That's an emergency, but it's not the kind that they handle, okay? 211. You call them, they're going to make sure that you get connected to the right uh, And let me tell y'all something else. Just because they give you a list of 10 resources, they are not promising you that any of the 10 on the list are going to have, every program is different. You might have a wait list, or you might get help immediately, or you might have to bring ID. You can't ask somebody else how their experience was. They're just trying to help you with a resource. You called, they told you they didn't have help. But you're like, wait a minute, I know y'all help my friend. You can't do that type of stuff, bro. It's this is why it's tacky. It's already a non-profit charitable cause. You can't tell them who to get their stuff to. That's my point. They're not gonna let you do that. Donated from their jobs or their company. People in the world that just do that. I'm trying to tell you guys, rich people, football teams, it's more sports than football, but they all give to different places every year, and that's what made it wasn't just the government funding every what you would call assistance program that people know about. Some of these programs, it's people donating $1 every time they go to Taco Bell, because they ask, would you like to donate $1 to the hungry children's need? They're not the only restaurant that do that, or a store. So my point is, when they collect that stuff, we all know it's supposed to go to who you said you're helping. That's the point of it. Or a person can go help them themselves. Tell me I'm wrong. If I can't donate to your business or nonprofit organization and it's not gonna go to the people, why can't I go give it to the people myself? Like, it's just a question. Is it gonna get to that anyway? You can't stop a people from being there for one another, can you? The United States? No, get out of here. I mean, let people donate where they need to, and then if the donators have a problem with dispersing help properly, I'm trying to help give some tips for real, because it's a lot being cut off as it is, and that people depend on. It ain't our business to say, oh, we the taxpayers, we should get to judge everybody that need help. They're not our kids. They shouldn't have had so many kids. Yep, I'm defending the parents of America. Yep, all 7.9 million that might receive food stamps. Because you're not going to tell me that many people are all just alike. There are people that get food stamps that have jobs, like I said. That's not a reason they don't give them to you. It's if you make too much. Like, if you they make you turn in your bills. If you what you make at work is less than how much your bills cost, which means you have to pull extra hours sometimes, or you have a second job, or you have social security, child support, some other check that you get. That's how they calculate whether you get government assistance. Now, let's talk about charity. Charity sometimes ask about how much money you make as well. Because why would we give you a help with a house and you have enough money to get a house? So we understand why they do what they do as far as having to ask for personal information sometimes, even though you're just dispersing help. Well, not even help, charity. Charity. Most times when we think charity, we think a poor person, which is crazy to me. Charity is just you freely giving to anybody. But it's considered more of charity when you're giving to somebody in need. We all know that. Like, if that person was truly, truly in need and they didn't have no shoes, I seen a video just the other day. These people, all they do, I kind of want to do what they do. I ain't gonna lie. I might need to reach out to them. They got a YouTube channel. I'm a fan already. But they just ride around in their car with the heat on. Because let's all remember, guys, it is the winter time. Email us at justjackets@gmail.com. By the way, we are still accepting through February 21st, 2026, coats, sweaters, and jacket donations. All sizes are welcome. We ask that they be newly used, but they don't have to be new. Okay? And we
y'all are gonna know You Will Make It TV are passing them out, because that, you see, I believe in it. I'm talking about it. You will have proof that we're getting those coats out to people, okay? But you have to email me at justjackets 2025 at gmail.com. This is how you receive more information if you're a serious inquiry about how to donate those coats and jackets. And yes, we was gonna post it right here on the channel. As soon as we're gonna post ourselves giving it out, they're gonna know we're not abusing charity. They can never make me look like that. But because I just understand too much about it. And first of all, real charity helps a person. Like, okay, let me tell y'all what they was doing. They ride around in their car with the heat on, and they just go down like homeless streets. And if they see somebody sleeping outside, because this man was sleeping outside in the snow, y'all, they had saved this man life. When they went back to see him 3 days later, that homeless man looked like a brand new man. How the hospital had helped him. And they were nice for even going back 3 days later. That's what they do. They help people off the street, and then they go check on them. That's what they channel about. Even if it ain't into an apartment, they try to help get them off the sidewalks. So when I commented, I said, thank God there's people that actually do something instead of sitting behind the internet saying comments. That's why they don't matter. That's why we call them bots. If you're not actually out here doing the footwork to show that you believe what you're talking about. So he was got y'all when he got out of that sleeping bag, it had turned out that man had no shoes on, no socks on. That mean if them people hadn't drove by him and they just happened to be random, they not random because they do have a big following, but they just happen to be a YouTube channel that help homeless people. And but they saved that man's life because he was just had a sleeping bag in the ice. At least he had it zipped up. He had it zipped up. He was out there surviving, but it definitely showed in that video, real raw footage. Like, ain't no telling how long that man had been doing that. He was saying he didn't have any family. Anyways, them getting him to the hospital was the best thing, because you can get hypothermia and have to get limbs chopped off sleeping in the snow too long. I almost said too much. Too much too, but too long for sure. Just laying in ice like that, you can mess your blood, bones, muscles, everything up. Have to lose a whole limb. So shout out to that channel, guys. I'm gonna make sure to tag them actually, cause I like what they do. There's even other ones that ride around and just help homeless animals. They just keep pet food in the car, water. They can't always take them to a pet shelter, but they at least go out there and feed them every day. So I like to see that kind of stuff. But that's why this is You Will Make It TV. We like to see that kind of stuff. Actually, that gives me a new idea. I'm gonna start sharing more content like that. I don't know why I haven't already. I just had it in my mind that if I'm not out there influencing like that, I'm not gonna record. But I forgot there's people that have already did videos. I can just share theirs so you guys can see what I'm talking about. We need more people like that. That is what you call charity. Them people don't get paid. They probably do get donations now that they have a YouTube channel and stuff, but they just decided to get up and start doing it. They couldn't believe how many people they didn't expect to actually, they probably expect to see a few homeless people and go. They were having to help a lot of people. They pull up on them, hey, do you have family? You can use my phone. Because, who needs to be sitting literally outside in the cold in a wheelchair and stuff like this? And guys, check on your family members because what's going on in the country? Sometimes they older people, sometimes they teens, but just thank God that there is channels. And some people do this on a global level already. I am going to be a part of that tribe one day. See, it's a lot of changes right now with the UN and Usually, any organization that stand for peace, though, I try to, I would say, why do I not support that, right? We know that Nicki Minaj was a speaker recently for some things that was going on as far as the dispute between the UN and Trump. I believe the last I read about it, he pulled out of the UN. That is big news, though. It's like, why are we not? Sometimes I don't know though, but there's peace and there's war. We need to be a part of all the things of peace. Charity is the beginning. It shouldn't take a national disaster happening, a sickness, some bad disaster every time for people to come together and remember charity. That's all you women want. Make It TV wants to remind everybody this bright and beautiful Wednesday morning. That's not begging for help, especially when you're not asking for charity for your own business, your own life. You're reminding people to go do it to other charities that are already out there. Because if you don't fund them, Trump and them is already saying they're cutting the budgets out. You can keep it open, they're just cutting budgets. So y'all understand why places like Job Corps are shutting down. Some of these YWCAs and stuff are shutting down. They don't have to, but do they have enough sponsors, donors, people in the community coming? And if everybody in the community gave $10 a month, you could keep places like that open. That's just not where people spending their money. They think they can just sit on the internet and go to work and spend money and be a taxpayer and stay on the internet and give their opinions. But if you're not donating to a cause or helping with something in your community, and I mean like donating stuff or giving money, you what you say really doesn't matter. See, it's just the facts. There are people still gonna be in need every day, even every day that you have what you need. That's just how life goes. And every day that somebody's struggling, somebody making it out the struggle, somebody going into the struggle, it's nobody's exempt from it. We all, they say, are a paycheck away from homelessness anyway. So it's not just a job been keeping a lot of people. Volunteer work is still work. Charitable giving to people, that's still work. Because once again, they might ask for your income or why you need help. They might have to get some personal information. Pretty much. Because if you already rich, why would you need housing? Why would you need to stay in a shelter? Come on now. So they might ask what you need help with. That's the time where you say it. And they'll let you know, no, with what you just told us, you make too much money, or we don't think you need it. But most charitable places are not going to tell you that. I just told y'all I know about a place, it only helped with baby stuff. And you didn't even need an ID. They didn't play that. If you come there with a baby, they might not have been a daycare, a babysitter, a job, but if their baby need diapers, milk, anything, and a lot of young girls, if I knew that they could help them, I would tell them about it. Like send them a link. They could be in their 20s, have a baby. The baby needs something. She don't get paid till Friday. No, you ain't gotta go steal nothing. Let me send you this link to this place. Long as you can get there. And yes, I've helped people with rides to places like that too, cause that's another thing. The resources can be as plenteous as you want them to be. If they're not accessible to the people where they have to have a car to go there just to talk to you for the help, how does that help them? Of course, people be like, oh, I just go to, they think doing something like going to a shelter is easy. Like, no, first of all, they have to say, yes, you can come. It's called an application. You don't just pop up. This ain't like the 70s where you could just come to the shelter and they like, oh, come in, you need a bed. No, they have a whole procedure to that now. And like I said, is some of them they do drug tests. Some don't care as long as you do it outside. But some, you're not coming in here drunk, high, none of that, bro. We're gonna do a test when you walk through the door. And if you fail the breathalyzer, in some states like Chicago, there's a few. You're not getting in the shelter if you, because the drugs and crime is worse in certain places, so they might have to be stricter. They've already seen this type of stuff. What Trump is doing with a lot of programs now. So yes, guys, they'll still be around, but for things like housing, SNAP, Medicaid, it's just gonna be stricter requirements. You're not gonna even want to be on it anyway. They're gonna ask for more. They're gonna ask for more from you. They're gonna ask for you to do more. I'm saying though, if people done got help 5, 4, 3 years already, why wouldn't you see a change in their life? People, taxpayers swear they can just say stuff like, and they ain't never had food stamps a day in their life. Or some of the main ones be talking been on it before. That's what be crazy about it. They either been on it or they know somebody that was on it. Thank you guys for tuning in to another live segment. We might be back with a part two very, very soon. So please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and share. Tune in to previously recorded topics just like these and refer to the comment section for the rep store link to my Avon Beauty Product store right in time for Valentine's 2026. You can also refer to my comment section for a link to the article surrounding the topic I was giving commentary to this morning. And until next time, remember to subscribe.